Welcome to Digital Asset News, the top stories in crypto, and bringing out a bite-sized pieces. Today, just the thumbnail suggests, Bitcoin City is going to happen, and it's going to have a lot of big perks, such as no income tax, no personal tax, and no capital gains tax. And we're going to take a look at exactly how that's going to be built and how the money that's going to flow into it, especially with crypto, is going to be massive. Also, we'll take a look at Blocktopia and Solana getting on board, which is all based on Polygon. We're going to talk about a billionaire, one of the early crypto investors, is dropping Ethereum. And then we're also going to talk real quick about the show DCA today. So we'll go over all those things, but first, take a look at what's going on in the market. So today, beautiful day, Sunday, nice day here in Puerto Rico. And we've got a pretty good market cap. Nothing fantastic, but we'll take it on a Sunday. We're at 2.66, almost 2.7 trillion, depending on where you look at. And the sentiment is neutral. I think people who are been in the space for a while, we know we're like, it was a big dip and a pullback, but it's okay because, as time goes on, we know where things are going to go in the future, and that's what we're all here for. Bitcoin price still below 60,000, 59.4. And as far as like the coins, as far as like what has been going up, Ethereum is up to around 4,300, 4,366, and 24-hour changes. And there's no big winners. Solana still on the number 5 spot. It's pretty good. Avalanche, 14%, and they are making big gains. We're going to talk exactly about that today. Crypto.com continues to massively overperform, 28%, as they land that deal with to replace the Staples Center in LA, and they are going to be in a multi-year deal for like $400 million. So crypto is alive and well, and it's going to just gobble up everything. So the big thing that I want to know, though, is where are we in the cycle itself? And for that, I like to take a look real quick at just some on-chain analysis. So CryptoQuant, if I'm going to take a look at where we are as far as like price action, if we take a look at the reserves for all the Bitcoin that's out there, all the different exchanges, we see that yes, we are still seeing people taking off Bitcoin, that's that little purple line right there, off of the exchanges and holding on to it. They are not selling even with that massive dip. People are like, what else you got? Because I've been in this game before. I know exactly what's going to happen. ETH is even more of a play, as a ton of ETH has been taken off the exchanges, as people are using it as for a utility, for gas prices, for staking it for Ethereum 2.0, NFTs, everything you want to do. Ethereum, you have to do it with Ethereum, unfortunately, and those gas prices are getting astronomical. All exchanges take your buy volume. This is just what tells us that as far as like whales and big individuals and just individuals in general are doing to push to buoy the price. And we see right here, let me blow this up a little bit. We see right here as it goes down, there was a big massive spike in people buying because they're like, no, 58, 57, 56, somewhere around there. We're not going to let it go below that because it's just a valuable asset. And they picked it up, and now we're almost at 60,000. And then this is the big one to me, and this is the one to really, really focus in on, which is the all exchange estimated leverage ratio. For all the exchanges out there, all the leverage plays that are going on, as far as the play, and as is explained to me for CryptoQuant by the CEO of CryptoQuant, Kyung Ju, once we start to hit the 2, it is like massively, massively over leveraged. And we hit that number on the 14th of November. Today, we're looking at the 21st. It has subsided a little bit, but we're still at 0.19. So people are still playing the leverage game. So expect some more volatility, but not like it was at the all-time highs. People got liquidated. And unfortunately, if that was you, it had to happen, because that's what we need to push us up to the next level. Then lastly, the market value to realized ratio. And we're not even near the 3.5, which is at the very top. And we're not near 1.0, which is the bottom. So that's just kind of what we see as far as on-chain analysis. Also, if you want to take a look at where the top is, we can also take a look at the Pi Cycle Top indicator. Pi Cycle Top. This has been right 4 times retroactively. Yes, it was 3 times, but the last one, it hit it on the nose when the 350-day moving average times 2 crossed over the 111-day moving average. It's just great information for you to know. But this is all you got to know. Once those cross over, it usually signifies the top. And that's exactly what happened on this specific day when we hit it at around 65,000, 64,000. And then it just crashed or had a big pullback. I know when I say crash, everybody's like, it wasn't a crash, it was a pullback. Make sure you don't say that. Sure, whatever. It was a pullback, crash, whatever you want to say. So then we had a pullback. And now we're just going back up again. So we're nowhere near, in my personal opinion, the top. I still see around 130K. Could be wrong. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. So that is essentially the state of the market. Let's jump into today's top story, which is Bitcoin City. I saw this. El Salvador does it again. That's really what it comes down to. The president, Bukele, I always say his name wrong, sorry. The guy's like he's becoming a rock star in our space. And this is what's happening. El Salvador is going to create Bitcoin City, uses 500 million of planned 1 billion bond offering to buy more crypto. So this was the president live. It was at the Crypto Expo, and you don't really see too many presidents on stage with their hats on backwards and just speaking to an audience like it's no big deal. I'm like, this guy's like a rock star. So this is what he said. He goes, look, Bitcoin City will be located along the Gulf of Fonseca near a volcano. What could go wrong? I'm just kidding. So I don't think it's been a really active volcano, but they're going to pull out the energy. The government plans on locating a power plant by the volcano to provide energy for both the city and Bitcoin mining, the president said. So first of all, my question was, where's the Gulf of Fonseca? Because guess what? I don't know. And it's right here. So borders Honduras, Nicaragua. Nice little area, it looks like right here. So volcanoes, natural resources, looks good. So then the city will be laid out in a circle like a coin. And the city center will be a plaza that will host to be a big Bitcoin symbol. Great. That's not the big thing. The city will have no income, no property, no capital gains, or no payroll taxes. Let me say that one more time. The city will have no income, no property, no capital gains, or no payroll taxes. Well, how do they do that? Well, it's the same type of thing as what we've been seeing with Miami coin and New York City coin, and what I believe a bunch of different cities are going to do as well, which is where they have it on stacks, which is a smart contract, which is based off of the Bitcoin network, and they're going to be able to stake those types of things and actually pull off some yield, and that's going to help to offset taxes. Mayor Suarez from Miami, he said, look, he goes, if we keep doing this, we could reduce our taxes for the entire city by 25%. Now, that was an extrapolation. I don't know if it's actually going to go through, but he said we made a lot of good money just by using this type of system. So when we have something here, it's the same but a little bit different. And what we're seeing here is that El Salvador plans on issuing a $1 billion US Bitcoin bond, a tokenized financial instrument developed by Blockstream on the Liquid network. Of that amount, 500 million is going to be used to construct needed energy and mining infrastructure, and then 500 million goes to buy even more Bitcoin. That would bring the country's treasury stash to just under 2,000 Bitcoins. And just in case you were wondering, how's that all going? Well, they do have 1,120 Bitcoin. This were the dates that they purchased it: September 6th, the 7th, the 20th, and the 28th, October 28th. And they purchased them at between 43,000 and 58,179. So on this last one, October 28th, they're right about even. But the other ones, I did this before. Bitcoin price today. Bitcoin price today is about, let's just say 59,000. I like round numbers. It's not, but just hang with me. So before the difference, they were up pretty big. Now, even with the dip, the value today between the value it was, the difference they've made just by making this, just by making these plays, is $8,033,270. That's not bad for, let me do some quick math. September, October, November, 2 months, you make $8 million, and who knows what it'll be in the next month or two. I think they could be they could be one of the greatest investors of all time at what they're doing right here. So on top of that, to get it all into the meat and potatoes, Samson Mao, Blockstream's chief strategy officer, the $1 billion in tokenized bonds will be a 10-year US dollar denominated and pay 6.5% initially. By the time 10 years has elapsed, the APR will be 146% based on the prediction that Bitcoin will hit $1 million within the next 5 years. But let me just say this, and there's some other stuff here, but it gets kind of boring. Let me just say this. Let's say it doesn't hit $1 million. Let's say Bitcoin just goes to 500,000 in 2 or 3 years. Let's just say it goes to 250,000. So instead of 146%, if you divide that by 4, because you go from $1 million to 250,000, you're still looking around 31% APR. So is a little bit better than actually putting your money into a bank as far as bonds. I don't want you to laugh, but it really is laughable. So if you have a bunch of investors like, yeah, sure, we'll take that bet, we believe in the future, and that could be a pretty big play for a lot of people. And on top of this, when we, the last part was pretty good. It says, El Salvador is hoping that by taking so much of the crypto out of circulation for so long, it helps to contribute to Bitcoin's price appreciation, which makes sense, right? We see the same type of demand or more, but a lot less supply, like we just saw with Bitcoin and Ethereum and a ton of other different cryptos that are being taken off the exchanges. And also, if you take a look at this, for Bitcoin treasuries, and we can go through, I'll link this in the description, you can check it out yourself, but it just breaks it down by ETFs, private companies, countries, and public companies. If we see right here, we've got ETFs, countries, public companies, private companies. The total is around 1.5 million worth of Bitcoin that is pretty much locked up, especially if you're a MicroStrategy or if you're a Grayscale. So if El Salvador is doing the same thing, and then people like you and I are doing the same thing, we're just locking things up, and different institutions and funds, and I mean, who knows what other kind of countries are going to get into it, they also lock it up. How long do you think before Bitcoin does reach 150, 250, 500, 1 million? I think that's the big question. So that, I think, is pretty bullish news. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Let's move on to our next piece where we talk about Blocktopia and Solana. So as you know, I've been talking a lot about the metaverse. I think it's the next big play. I think it's a 2 or 3 year play if you just kind of sit on things. And I've already done my dollar cost averaging from 2017, 2018, 19, 2021. Now I'm looking for the next thing. And this, I think, could potentially be it. But so with the metaverse, not to get off topic, is that look at who is investing in the metaverse. We just saw that Gemini yesterday is dumping in $400 million. The Bank of Australia is also getting in on that purchase. And you've got a lot of different players getting into the metaverse. You've got a Microsoft, you've got an NVIDIA, you got Facebook. But I mean, everybody is getting into here. They kind of know where things are going. And Solana is no different. So Solana is a new tenant over at Blocktopia. I didn't know what Blocktopia was, so I'm going to link this in the description as well. You can take a look at it. It's a pretty cool looking place, I'll be honest with you. Pretty slick. It almost looks like the Ready Player One or any other types of like metaverse places you can think of. And there's a lot of things going on here, but what really struck me was, first of all, the amount of big names that are involved in this one. I mean, also you've got the gambling and the NFTs and all that good stuff, right? But the thing that really offsets it with the metaverse is if you're built on the Ethereum and NFTs, it kind of weighs things down because it's kind of expensive. But guess what? This one, first of all, it's built and backed by Polygon, and second of all, instead of just walking around in your browser, it's going to be a virtual reality type of one. So this, I'll be doing more in-depth analysis later on, but the big play that I see, again, for the metaverse is land. I don't know exactly how everything's going to work out as far as like the games and the gambling. I can't get into gambling. I'm an American citizen, so it's not going to work out for me. But the land, if you want to really get into where people are going, where their eyeballs are, that's where all the ad revenue is. Just like in the very beginning, it was radio, and that was where everybody put their ads on. And then it was the TV. That's where everybody put their ads on, and that's where a lot of money went into. And then it was social media. And now, just like you saw a bunch of ads on YouTube, that was laughable 10 years ago, where someone would be like, you're going to put an advertisement on the internet? That place that's built for shucksters and all the people that will scam you out of your money and illicit activity and drug cartels, the internet? Yeah, same thing again. So I see this as a pretty big play. We'll see how it all unfolds. But again, if it's built on Polygon, things are pretty cheap, and I like that. Anyhow, let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and we'll finish up with dropping Ethereum. This was pretty good. Before everybody gets up in arms about it, let me just listen to the whole story. Don't be too judgmental yet. I'll tell you why. So crypto billionaire abandons Ethereum, and here's why. So this was from Zusu. Hopefully I said it right. I'm not really good at this. But he says, look, this was yesterday. He goes, I've abandoned Ethereum despite supporting in the past. in the past. Yes, Ethereum has abandoned its users despite supporting them in the past. The idea of sitting around blank off watching the burn and concocting purity tests while zero newcomers can afford the chain is just gross. And you have to understand that this guy was a pretty big proponent of Ethereum, was really out there. But just know that earlier today, an Ethereum address associated with Three Arrows Capital sent roughly $77 million worth of ETH to the FTX exchange. So you might have seen like a little bit of a dip, but didn't really seem to do too much because Ethereum's actually up. In early November, Three Arrows Capital was announced as one of the investors in Blizzard, a new fund whose purpose is to promote the development of Avalanche. So you can take it with a grain of salt, but there are some things that they say about Ethereum. And remember, like these guys have been, they're like one of the bigger. This guy's one of the bigger investors into crypto, but they do make some pretty good points as far as like he says right here, Ethereum culture suffers massively from the founder's dilemma. Everyone is already far too rich to remember what they really set out to do. Perhaps a bear market does need to remind them, or perhaps we must build elsewhere. But this is what it is. Again, you can say it as like, well, this is just a person who wants to get rich off of Avalanche, or you can just take a look at it and go, well, you know, those Ethereum gas fees are pretty darn high. So I would love to hear the discussion in the comments section, what you think about that. And then to finish up, we'll talk about DCA today. So just so you know, it's going to be me and James as usual. We're going to rotate guests, and it's Mr. Cohen, Benjamin Cohen from Into the Cryptoverse. So that will happen 7 GMT Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time if you're in the States. So for me in Puerto Rico, that's like 3 p.m. So I'll see you there for DCA. I'll try to put the link if James gets it to me in time. But that's it for today. So look, if you stuck with me all the way to the end, first of all, thanks. I appreciate it. If you liked today's video, found some value, give it a thumbs up. I'll consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. And that's it for today. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.